Welcome everyone to Get Your Game On, the channel dedicated to immersive gaming experiences. And I am so excited to be sharing this video with you today. I've been wanting to make this video since the first time I tried this experience. It just is one of the best VR experiences I've ever had, and it literally warped my mind being in this. I couldn't comprehend the feeling I was getting. So what it is it's a MAME ROM emulator, and basically I know very little about this. I've spent the last few days learning about it, but I am by no means am an expert. So if you're interested in MAME ROMs, I'm going to link a video down below that talks about them in far more depth and detail than I ever could, because if you're going to ask me questions about it, I really don't know enough to answer those properly. So take a look at that video down below if it's something you're interested in. So this experience is basically a MAME ROM emulator which allows you to play the old classic video games, but it does it in a way I've never seen before. Basically, we're going to go take a trip in virtual reality in time, and we're heading back to the 80s to an arcade. So let's get started. So welcome everyone to my youth, and this is incredible. So you are now joining me in a virtual reality arcade from back in the 80s, and let me tell you, the experience is pretty mind-blowing. This is basically a MAME ROM emulator, and what that is it's a front-end piece of software that allows you to run old MAME ROMs, which are basically the software that all these old video games are built on. And so normally you use an emulator that just basically pulls the game up on your computer screen, but this actually takes it a step further and takes you into the world of a 1980s arcade. And I have never felt more like I was in a time machine in my life. So just to give you a little background, my first job ever when I was a kid was cleaning video arcades basically before they opened. So I was in charge of all the screens, making sure they were all clean, the fingerprints and everything, making sure all the buttons and everything were clean, things of that nature. And this really captures the feel of that old arcade that I spent so many hours of my youth in. So the game is pretty amazing. It's basically, you walk around, so you can basically do the whole left controller joystick thing to basically traverse the arcade. You can also obviously look left and you can look right, and you can also use the right controller stick to actually snap turn if you'd like. In addition to that, you can use the right joystick and push forward, and it allows you to teleport, and that's basically snap turn, teleport, or just free locomotion. So, and this is such a cool deal. This is made by a gentleman called Halfdeck, and he's definitely putting a lot of care and devotion into this little front-end MAME ROM emulator, and the detail is amazing. So if we walk over here, and again, I'm just having flashbacks. When you were really in these arcades back in the day, the sound from all the different machines hitting you as you walk down the aisles, it's so immersive and so memorable. This is exactly what I remember everything sounding like. You even have these old classics like Asteroids, which were the old vector style graphics, and that's all here. You can see the little buttons, everything's lighting up, and it's pretty cool. Just the sense of immersion is incredible, and again, it makes me feel like I'm, back 40 years ago, and it's just such a cool experience. Now, the other thing that's really cool is this old classic of mine, Joust. I played this a ton. So all of the machines are very detailedly reproduced. They have, even if you get up close, you can see some dirt on the buttons. And what's really cool is all these screens are kind of recessed into them. So let me see if I can find a good one to show you. So for example, let's come over here to Moon Patrol, for example. So where the actual game is being played, you can actually see the CRT itself is recessed from the front of the cabinet. And you can even see here, there's definitely fingerprints, and you can look up and it's just, it just looks so realistic. Sinistar, this is one that I played a lot in, and it just feels like these machines are sitting right in front of me. You can even see the dirt on the control panel there. There's a little bit of dirt. Just the attention to detail. Halfdeck, amazing job, amazing job. And this is a passion project for him. So this is something that he's doing out of his own spare time and of his own accord. He doesn't work for any big company or anything like that. And just, I wish a lot of the game developers these days could put in half the attention that you're putting into this Halfdeck. So very, very impressed. The other really cool thing about this is you can actually put a playlist together. So you can actually add your own music to it, and if you do that, you'll actually have the music coming through the speakers, just like we had in the old arcade days. Now, I can't have any of the music going because obviously you'll have copyright issues, but just know that it gives you that full arcade experience of days gone by. So just a really, really cool deal. Now, I don't actually own any MAME ROM, so I can't actually play any games. So what you would do is if you actually had a MAME ROM, you would come up to the arcade, you take your hand, and you basically reach down here and act like you put a quarter in, and you can see nothing's loading. I mean, look at that. I've even got shadowing on the screen. How freaking realistic is that? So nothing's going to happen because I don't own any MAME ROMs. But if you did, you would get to actually start playing the game now. So that's kind of how that does. So we'll go ahead and shut down the active game, which it's trying to load, and it goes back to the attract screen. So all these attract screens that are going on all these machines are just little videos that he's put in here so that you walk through and it feels like an actual arcade with all the attract modes going. So that's really, really cool. Now, if you do have MAME ROMs, what you will have to do is you'll have to get a controller, an Xbox controller, like an Xbox 360 controller or something like that, connected to your computer. And then once you start the game, you would actually use that controller to play the game. And that's the way that it works. So we're standing here at Joust, and I've spent many an hour of my lifetime playing this game. In the old days, we used to stack our tokens up here and just monopolize this machine for hours on end when we would play, and this is absolutely one of my favorite games of all time. So it's so cool. And as a kid, you dreamed of having an arcade like this, and for this to even be a possibility now for you you retro fans out there, this is one to definitely check out. So, and what's cool is it's not even just this floor. There's so much more to this. I mean, again, this is obviously the floor I really like because these are all the games of my youth. Donkey Kong Jr. I used to love Donkey Kong Jr. And, I mean, this is so cool. Like I said about the CR2 being set back, you look in there and this looks like the actual arcade machine. It's so cool. Got a little TV playing there and, just all those kind of things. And I have to share with you, I had a little moment when I first got in here, and it kind of felt unreal because if any of you are Ready Player One fans, you'll know, and not the movie, but the book. Spoiler alert coming up here. So in the book, Wade Watts actually gets his free life quarter from playing a Pac-Man machine and playing a perfect game. He didn't get it from the curator like he did in the movie. In the book, he actually plays a Pac-Man machine in a little pizza parlor on the Planet Arcade, and he actually, once he finishes the perfect game of Pac-Man, he gets the quarter. It was sitting up here, like I said before, how we used to put our quarters up there to reserve the game for the next time. And then once he got his perfect score, that quarter came out. So if you remember in the movie, he got the quarter far differently. In the actual book, he actually got it playing Pac-Man, and it was just weird to me, or kind of surreal to me, to be standing here in front of this Pac-Man machine, just like he would have in the actual story of Ready Player One. And so, talk about you're playing a game inside a simulation, and and this thing's right here. So I can totally see how in the Oasis you could get lost in this alternate reality, because again, this feels like I am standing right here, right in front of this Pac-Man machine. So it's so cool. Rally X, played a ton of that. Just all these old games. and it's so cool. And then Wizard of War, had to come over here and share with this one. This used to be at an old Aladdin's Castle in the shopping mall that was about an hour's drive from our hometown, and I used to look forward to playing Wizard of War all the time. And again, I wish I could play it and show you what it was like, but it won't start because I don't have any of the ROMs. So anyhow, so we'll go ahead and shut that one down too. But this was a game I absolutely played a ton of. So anyhow, but like I said earlier, it's not just this floor. If I pull this menu up, you can see we're currently at the Pasadena level, and level 2 and level 3 are currently locked off. He's building those now. But let's go ahead and take a trip through the rest of this arcade time capsule. So such ambience as soon as you load in here. You can see we've got a Tron poster, Terminator 2, Dune. That was the original Dune. For those of you that are into it now, there was one made in the 80s, and it had Sting, as you can see. So that was that. Return of the Jedi, Ghostbusters, Flashdance. I mean, just all this ambiance that just throws you back into the world of nostalgia. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I can't tell you how many quarters I chunked into this machine in the arcade. I love the Turtles, so I played Raphael. He was my favorite turtle. And just so much cool stuff. Gauntlet. Those of you that remember Gauntlet, there's the Terminator right there. And if you get over here, Wizard Needs Food Badly. This was a quarter eater too. Chunked quarters into that one as well. So just incredible. So you can see this floor kind of goes around Tetris. You can see all of these old arcades. Now, these cabinets, I believe, were really popular overseas. I think these were really popular like in Japan and stuff like that. I have never really seen cabinets like these over here in the States, but I think these were popular because they were kind of a generic cabinet that you could put pretty much different types of games in. So I'm pretty sure that's what those are modeled on. And again, you can see here, pretty cool deal. Hannibal Lecter, Taxi Driver, Highlander, there can be only one. Just some really cool stuff sitting here. It's so cool. So there you go. Look up on the walls. Here you go, Donkey Kong, all that. So let's go take a look at another floor, shall we? So let's run up. We did the first. Let's go up to the 4th floor. I've been in several arcades that are like this. They're just the bare walls. Man, nostalgia taking me back. And you know, these were the old the old arcades that were kind of holes in the wall. And you know, any room that you could fill with machines, you would do back in the day. And again, a lot of these machines, like I said, I've never seen these. Look at that Metallica poster right there, Alien 3. Just an incredible, immersive experience that absolutely loving it. So let's see what else we got here. Let's go up to the 5th floor. All right, here we go. Let's see what this floor looks like. Got a little Scarface on there. So this is Golden Axe. See, and this is what's so cool about this. It's actually got the machine front, so I can actually see here, you know, what the power-ups were from the original game. If you were just running a normal MAME ROM emulator, you just have the game sitting here. So, oh man. And you look up here, like on this trim work, I can see little nicks and dents in it. I mean, it's just, again, the attention to detail on this is so incredible. You know, and the screens all have like that CRT look to them. It's so cool. But yeah, this reminds me of those little rooms back in the day because it's a really small room. This was kind of like if you went to the bowling alley or something and they had one little room full of arcade machines in the back. That's what this kind of reminds me of. Oh, there's Black Tiger. All right. So this game, when I got to college, this was in the college arcade, and I spent so much money on this that I finally actually went out and bought a Nintendo because I realized instead of spending all my money in the arcade on this game, I should just go buy one of the Nintendo systems. That way I could play multiple games. Capcom was all the rage back then, and they actually had a lot of games on the Nintendo. So this was the game that actually got me to buy my original Nintendo system. So again, it's just a great trip down memory lane here. Batman, I'm not even familiar with. Just so cool. So there you go. There's this other floor here. And let's go visit the next floor and see what we got. So here we are on the 6th floor. And again, you see we got a lot of that nostalgia. We got Tom Cruise over there, Top Gun. And again, a lot of these arcade machines that I'm not familiar with. But let's see what we got here. We have Centipede. That's a classic. I think it has a trackball, though, so I'm not sure that that's accurate. And I believe this is the game that my better half Brenda likes. This is called Crystal Castles. She really liked the little bear. It also used a little trackball, if I remember correctly. Yep, that's Crystal Castles. So she used to enjoy that when she was a kid. And then what is this? Oh, this is Satan's Hollow. So our local bowling alley had this, and I used to play this a little bit at our local bowling alley. So that was fun. Just a lot of really cool games. Arkanoid, I never played in the arcades, but I had that on my old Amiga personal computer, so I played that a lot. Now, a lot of these games also came out a little bit later from when I was really into the arcades. Again, the old Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Joust era is a little bit more my era, but I do remember some of them, like the skateboarding one. I never really played it, but I remember that. Let's see what we got down here. Oh, Track and Field. We played a lot of this back in the day, 1983. So there was a trick. You could like use a pencil or a small ruler or something, and you could basically put it on one button, and you'd kind of flip your hand, and it would allow you to run faster. So all kinds of tricks that we used to do there. And oh, there's Paperboy. Yeah, I remember Paperboy. And then there's several over here that I remember from being a kid. So Rampage, this one was great. So this one, you're basically a monster, and you get to eat people and destroy buildings. And then Tapper. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then right here, this is one of my all-time favorites. In fact, we're going to sit at this one. So there's a button if you want to play these. You would hit this button, and you can either stand or sit. This game, I was probably 8 or 9 years old, somewhere in there. I used to ride my bike to the actual Circle K down the street. I guess I had to be a little older. If it was 81, I was about 13. So I was probably 13, 14, something like that. And I used to ride my bike to the Circle K and play this all day. And man, this is just a fun game. So you can actually drop bombs, you can shoot, all that good stuff, and many a quarter went into that. So taking me back. And wow. So this is kind of neat too, if you guys see all this artwork up here. So like I mentioned, my first job was in an arcade, and a lot of these posters are actually taken from flyers that we used to get in the mail. So these manufacturers would actually send these flyers to the arcades, and basically they were advertisements to try to get you to actually buy the game. So they've just found some of that old artwork and put them on the walls. But yeah, we used to get these. These were mailers that we would get actually at the arcades. So that's pretty cool. And then we got another back room here. A lot of these games I'm not familiar with. Golden Axe, Wizard of War, all that good stuff up there. I love it. Absolutely love this, you guys. Just amazing. So it looks like this is the last little room on our journey. Crocodile Dundee. Yeah, just wow. Here's some of your wrestling. Yeah, this stuff came a little bit later. So WWF Wrestling. Wow. So that's it. That's kind of a journey to my childhood. And man, just an amazing job, Halfdeck. Very impressed with what you've done here. And again, great job on the attention to detail. And thank you for taking me back and letting me re-experience my youth one last time. This has been fantastic. So as you can see, quite an experience, and definitely blew my mind when I tried it. I felt like I was in the 80s again, and I absolutely loved it. So for those of you that are interested in this, you have to join Halfdeck's Discord server, and I'll put a link to that below, and it's a totally free download. So go join that, download it, and he's also accepting donations. So if you want to contribute to his project, I'll have a link to how to donate to him as well. Now, personally, I'm so amazed by this. What I'm going to do is for the rest of the year, whatever monetization that this video gains, so whatever this video itself makes until the end of the year, I'm going to donate all of that to Halfdeck, because I just think he deserves it. He's done a tremendous job, and I think he needs to be rewarded for it. So if you have friends that might be interested in this kind of thing, please share this with them, because the more views we can get on this video till the end of the year, the more I'll be able to donate to the cause and donate to Halfdeck, because I definitely want to see this continue to be developed. Now, in future developments, one of the things that I'd love to see, and I don't even know if it's possible, but Halfdeck, if you can make this a multiplayer environment where we could all gather in the arcade and maybe play games together, that would take this to the whole nother level. And I mean, that would be just like in the old days. I can imagine playing Joust with a friend and both of us playing at the same time, or maybe playing Ninja Turtles where, you know, we've got a few of us playing. But that's the only thing I can see that would really take this to the whole next level. And man, I don't even know what to think if you can pull that one off. So that's all I have for you today. I thank you guys for watching as always. And until next time, remember to get your game on.